Hey, this is Red Band coming to you live from Death Squad Studios for a new episode of Pointless. And now here's your Pointless Kevin Pereira.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Pointless Podcast. Happy New Year. Bring back that Harvard music if you still got it. You don't have it. Fuck it. That is a band that I am obsessed with right now.
Harvard music?
Harvard, H-R-V-R-D. Their last album was out in like 2009. They've got a new one coming out in a month or so. Damn, that is some good rock. That is just some healthy prog rock. It's good to love. Hey, guys. Welcome to the Pointless Podcast, episode number, what, Brian? Great. We are back. A little hiatus. Went to Cancun. Took some time off. I turned 30. I celebrated that achievement at an Olive Garden.
Did you really?
I really did. We can get into that later. But this is now going to be the mullet of podcasts. We are going to have business up front, then we will get to the party. The business is as such. First and foremost, someone started pointlessforums.com. Oh. It's a nice themed site. It's a bulletin board, a message board, if you will, for kids and families and all sorts of folks to communicate about this madness. I haven't logged in yet myself, but I hear it works. It's there. You can post messages. There might be emoticons. I don't fucking know. But thanks to whoever started that. It's all themed. It's all pretty light. Go to pointlessforums.com. Check that out. We have t-shirts and stickers coming very soon. They'll be available, assuming on the Death Squad store and over at supercreative.tv. That is happening. And because it just might get me laid, if you haven't checked out the trailer for Best Friends Forever, it is the new feature film written, directed, and starring the lovely and talented Miss Bria Grant. It'll be premiering at Slam Dance. The trailer just hit the web today, or if you're listening to this on iTunes, it hit the web last year. You can check it out. Google bestfriendsforeverfilm.com. I think it is. Use your internet search machine, find it. It's an awesome trailer, and I think if I mention it enough, she might let me do it in the front.
Wow.
She just may. But this is not about me. This show is always about the greatest guests in podcast history, and I have one sitting across from me today.
When's he coming?
He is. I don't know. Did you tell him how to get here? Did you give him parking directions?
I heard someone knocking.
Good. We'll let him in. We'll let him in after this introduction of a man who is more than a man. He is a modern-day Renaissance fellow. He is a writer. He is a director. He is a musician. He once sold tiny sombreros for bats to wear. He was an inner tube salesman and a professional slinky dancer. Ladies and gentlemen, VJ, YouTube remixing extraordinaire, Mike Realm is here! Mike Realm!
Thank you so much.
Thank Christ, I finished. Did you?
I'm almost there.
There we go. Get it. What does it for you these days? What pushes you over the edge?
Same kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Doing live shows, kind of boring.
Someone else coming into the bathroom at a Sitco?
Yeah. I had to stop on the way here because it took me like 2 hours to drive.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. But I had to stop at a gas station and I just unloaded.
Did you?
But I thought about that. I thought, wow, I'm really comfortable here because I'm taking a shit, and I just thought about all the.
And this was
times.
at a pump, by the way. You didn't even go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
you were at the full service pump squatting by the premium side.
Circulation, but I just thought about how many people just have jerked off on the exact seat that I'm.
Oh yeah, on the seat, on the walls, on the mirror, on each other, on guys like you who were just in there to drop a power deuce before going to a podcast.
I had to lock the door.
You're lucky you escaped with your innocence.
Oh.
Did they have the giant oversized restroom key that has like a cat's paw and a hubcap attached to it?
No key. I lucked out.
Oh, wow.
It was an indoor one.
You went a keyless deuce? Oh, indoor.
It's fancy.
Okay. Yeah. This isn't, you didn't drive through Compton to get to this podcast.
No, it's Pasadena.
Mike Realm.
Still pretty good.
Such a pleasure to have you here. We have been friends for a handful of years
Forever,
now.
Yeah.
Enemies for far longer.
Way longer. I hated you.
I'm glad we worked that out.
Yeah, with a passion.
Oh, he still does. He still does deep down. But he's using this for promotion, and I don't mind that. Do you want to get into it?
The game. No, I'd love this guy forever.
I was just saying when we thought we were off the air, but we probably weren't. Thanks, Brian. Brian Redband is here as well, by the way. Redband in the house. Totally airing some NDA shit if you pay attention to the Ustream. Whatever. That's for offline. For online right now, I was saying that I know you fairly well, but I really don't know the history of Mike Realm. What is where do you believe is the start for you? Was there an album, or was there a guy who had turntables, or was it like your dad or your mom introducing you to music? Where did you really find the desire?
Well, my parents are they're cool. They're not like music people. It's not like we grew up in like a house where everyone played instruments and like we sang.
A traditional Asian household?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't force me to play the violin or anything or you know, but they were kind of disappointed when I stopped playing piano. Like they kind of knew my mom, like, you know,
They didn't force me, but they did wrap me with a switch if I said I didn't find music entertaining.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I thought that's what everyone went through.
Right.
You know, but you know, my mom and dad are just, I mean, they're kind of cool. They kind of
Did they introduce you to piano though as like here, Mike, you need to learn how to do something like this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Said, this make you learn math better. No, they're perfect. They're Americanized like hell. They don't talk like that. And that's a bad Chinese accent anyway.
Yeah.
But they definitely enforced, you know, going to school and all that stuff. But then I just at school, you know, socially, you're just kind of trying to find your place. It's like I was in high school when I started DJing, and I couldn't play sports. Couldn't really didn't socialize very well. I didn't get invited to any parties, which bummed me out. So I thought, well, if I was the DJ, then I gotta go because
gotta have some music.
Yeah. And in my school, like the seniors were the guys they had the crew jackets and everything. And I was like, whoa, you don't gotta like be a quarterback to have a jacket with your name on it.
No, you have to have $25 in a mall. You have to go to Things Remembered to have your name put in cursive on a jacket.
So
you were a freshman in high school then?
I was like a sophomore when I actually did start. That just hooked me from there. I couldn't stop. You know, it was something that I was like, well, I'll do this to get through high school, but there's no way I'm gonna do this through college.
So you had an ounce or two of musical training from when you were younger, doing piano and some other instruments? Or no?
Yeah, barely.
Enough to maybe get an ear for it, or recognize that you had an ear for it?
Recognize that I wanted to play. I like performing like at the recitals and stuff for like 10 people.
So why did you choose the thing that, I mean, because you don't really play anything. You play other people's music, right?
Yeah, I just press play.
I mean, that's all you do. You hit the triangle and you walk away and have a cigarette. No, let's get to sophomore year, your first DJ set, your first house party. What did you bring? What did you set up? Did you have a Discman hooked into something?
No, it was all vinyl. I had a crate of like 50 records, and I thought that was like, I'm good.
And what were these records? Like, were these?
It was like Summertime in the LBC. I remember they asked me to play that like once every other song.
Right.
We're like kids. You know, I was like, this is how it works? Yeah. All right, I'll play that again.
Well, I like your first gig. It's like, it's all requests. Whatever you guys want to hear.
Exactly. I would slap myself in the head if it's horrible. Horrible.
So a little Summertime in the LBC, a little Snow's Informer. Was it?
I had Informer. Okay. It was, and then Planet Rock. 93 Till Infinity was my first record that I ever bought, which kind of shows it gives me like a mark of when I started.
Sure.
Which is kind of cool. I ended up touring with some of the guys from Hyro later on in life, so I was just like, oh, mind blowing.
High school soggy dreams come true.
Yeah.
So you're at your first house party. You're playing the all request hour, one song over and over again.
Yeah.
Did that become the night that you finally got attention from the ladies in the high school? Did they immediately come over and put a crew jacket on you and embrace you as one of theirs, or did you train wreck it?
There was no like Rudy moment or anything.
No.
It was just like more requests. Like I found that was the first time I actually felt used as a person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I brought all this stuff, and I was like, well, you kind of owe me at this point. No.
Right. I got I dragged my milk crate filled with records here. I set up the turntables. I kept your party going, and nothing.
Nothing.
Not even a courtesy HJ.
I set it up for the other guys.
Right. You were the mood maker.
Yeah.
So when did that change for you?
Wow, I didn't really change because the kind of DJing I got into because I got sick of that. I was just like, you know what? That is not what I want to do.
Sure.
You know, that was just no.
Yeah, you saw the end of the road, and it was like quinceañeras and bar mitzvahs.
I've done a couple of those, and
right.
it's 10 times worse because you get the parents and the grandparents. Then you get the cool uncle who's like, no, everyone's gonna dance to this.
Right.
No one ever. It's never good.
And then they go, play the chicken song again. Now remix that shit.
Cha cha. And then we try to entertain ourselves by scratching on top, and they're like, well, just play it. I don't know this version. And
well, you know, playing a record is one thing. Scratching and actually being able to do it proficiently. Now you're talking about an instrument. You know, now you're talking about real skill. So when did you discover the love of the scratch?
My brother's friend had like an older brother who had like a VHS tape, which is a rectangular plastic
of like Scotch tape, like adhesive. Like a transparent adhesive?
It's the same thinness, I think, but it's wrapped up and it doesn't have adhesive on it.
You could be speaking German, completely lost at what you're saying, but go on.
It's spooled. And you put it in a VCR.
Again, I'm nodding to be polite. I have no fucking idea what you're saying,
Yeah,
but
it's really
got it.
hard to describe.
Was this like we're going to teach you how to, an itch to scratch, volume 1?
Oh
and
no,
it's
I wish it was, but it was a Mixmaster Mike DJ battle. It was the New Music Seminar '92, I think.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
could see that being pretty instrumental.
Yeah, and so I see that, I'm like, that's what I want to do, because
Right.
he's got like, he's going, and he's doing all this crazy stuff, and people are flipping out, and he's not taking requests. He's like, he's playing for like.
He has not played TLC's Waterfalls, not even once.
God damn it! I wasted so many years of my life playing that.
You got to
stuff.
stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, Mike.
Oh God.
Listen, I know you're going to have it your way or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast. So you saw this tape and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. Did you seek out a mentor? Did you just start?
No, I just
rubbing a
tried to
record?
copy
No
whatever
shit.
it is. Yeah,
'Cause that's not easy.
No, it's not the recommended way.
It's incredibly,
because-
I mean, scratching. Please tell me, because I understand as a percussionist that it's incredibly rhythmic, and so I get the syncopated rhythmic nature of doing it, but placement of needles and making melody out of cue points and all this, it's an instrument. People don't realize that.
It absolutely is, but it's an instrument without set tones and keys,
Right.
Because it's different song. Like you can get sounds, so it's a little bit more percussive, but at the same time, it's like, that doesn't sound right for some reason. It's because there's, it's off key.
Sure.
So you have to kind of get your scratches. It's like playing a theremin almost, because you're
Right.
playing like air. You can let it go, and it's a different thing. But if you're rubbing it most of the time, it's another thing.
Mm-hmm. No, I wasn't going to call you out on how masturbatory
I
you
saw
made
it
it
in your
sound.
eyes, though. I
There
could
was a
tell.
glimmer, but it depends on how much pressure you apply with your thumbs, and you could rub it all the way out, or you could just tease it a little bit. Either way, it's going to fill the air.
So this is pre-digital, so I had to go to a record store and
Right.
buy the records that they were using. I was like, oh, that's Peter Piper by Run DMC. I can get that. And so I bought a bunch of copies of that and tried to mark the record, because you have to like kind of put stickers on it so that you can get the needle on the exact groove that you want it to be on.
Right, you're staring at a black pancake, and
It's
you
a
don't
needle
know
in a
what's
haystack.
there,
Yeah,
so you got to
exactly.
put little markers there, so okay, this is when someone shouts, "Come on, bring it!"
Yep.
Or this is when someone says, "Feel the noise!" Or whatever.
There it is.
Yeah, yeah. So you mark it up, and this is pre-production for music, because again, you said this is not a digital age, so
Nope.
you've got to look at your sample arsenal, listen to it really on an album,
Yeah.
mark it all up, and then be ready to play.
Yeah. At a moment's notice.
That's a shit ton of work that
Yeah,
goes
it's
into
crazy.
scratch,
It's
like to doing
it's
one
going
set.
from like playing a gig where it's like, oh, you play for 3 hours at our party. All right, fine. But this is like, you get like a minute and a half to like shred your opponent. You know what I mean? And you got to think about who you're up against. So I started
Right.
entering the local battles. And
this is local where? This is Northern California?
Daly City.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a bunch of us. For some reason at that time, we were all just kind of DJs. So
Well, everybody wanted to get their sweet jackets with their names on it. Of course. You guys are
they were really sweet. I still haven't gotten
the
one.
vinyl gang. I'm going to get you a
They had
jacket.
like the
don't
Letterman
worry.
jackets. I was like, man.
Mike, we will fulfill that childhood fantasy. So you had a scratch crew, would you say? You were hanging out in a scratch clique?
Yeah, it was a bunch of us from different schools, because I didn't really have people in my school that were kind of into it the way
Right.
I was. So
You
we
were the
just
guy.
Kinda like, yeah, I was the guy of my school.
Right.
Which it's cool, but also dangerous, because you get full of yourself, and then you go to the other school and you're like, oh my god, that guy's really good. And then we started entering the national battles, and that was like, whoa.
Well, is that
And this was
is that some Bring It On kind of shit where there's like trash talk and people are
a little
like,
bit. And
yeah?
the kids from Compton were like kind of, a little more intimidating. No, it was pretty similar. And because there was no internet, we didn't know what these guys had. So it was just like, I heard this
true.
guy's pretty good, but there's no way to like see that.
Right. You couldn't pull up his Twitter account or pull
No.
up his YouTube and go, oh, okay, I see exactly
Nothing
what he
on
does. That's
YouTube.
fine. It was
You
like,
might get
you
a
just hear
tape.
about those Compton boys and you know that their records are thicker and wider and it's
Yeah.
intimidating.
And they got these crazy needles.
Right.
can do a
Neon
backflip.
needles. Yeah, exactly. He'll spin the deck upside down and
Yeah. It's really intimidating. You're just a kid from Daly City, like that, and that's it. We would go to New York, and it's just, we get roughed up by the old ladies walking down the street. Like,
they jack you for your chains and your Adidas. So to get to a national level, though, you went from a VHS tape to national scratch battles, right? What set the stage for that? I mean, when do you see yourself at a national battle, and what has happened in that time? Is there a Rocky training montage, and you just suddenly got good at it, or Was it battle after battle, and then you were ready for the national stage?
There could be an epic training montage in my bedroom at my parents' house, just skipping school, getting no dates, no life,
half-eaten bowls of cereal everywhere.
Yeah, just ramen everywhere. Like it's just
cum
like,
sock dangling from the lamp, or at attention from the lamp. I don't know how much work you did to that gym sock. But all right, so training and then national stage. So what year is this national battle?
This was 90. The one I actually won was 99.
Okay.
Many moons ago.
And it was where?
This was in the championship was in San Francisco.
Okay, so you had a little hometown advantage then.
Oh, big time.
Yeah?
But the guy I faced off at the end was also from San Francisco, so it was like
how convenient.
Kind of a wash.
Thanks, SF. Yeah. Who was the guy? Who was the guy that you crushed? Where is he now, Mike?
Wow, what was his name? It was DJ Remedy. He's from San Jose. So I guess not really.
I guess you had the remedy for his career path. Am I right? Well, homeless, living in a box. He's not hearing this because he's poor. So you smoke DJ Remedy.
Big time.
Yeah, and sadly he kills himself years later. Sorry to hear about that.
It's really sad.
But you fucking pwned him. And then here's what I want to get at. There's a huge transition from playing a record at a high school party to getting into scratching and then winning national tournaments at a level. Clearly, you're a master of that. I always run into these guys now who, I hate to say it, they sound like sore losers because they got so good at marking records and scratching or DJing in a certain way that they now look at these young whippersnapper Skrillex types with their hairs to the side and they go, these kids are pressing an auto button, man, and it's doing all the beat matching and doing this and doing that. And I go, listen, I respect the fact that you spent years honing your craft, but now you have to respect the fact that technology has erased your craft, or at least erased that part of it, because the guys who are really, really, really good at it, like yourselves and like many other that I know, they play it at a different level. It's not about the beat matching. It's about making music with this instrument.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's taken a lot out of it. I think it's also the audience is just different. You know what I mean? Like I think the audience for me it was perfect because they were also interested in what I was doing. So you know, it kind of worked out. But like now, it's like we changed. I don't do my whole show is different from like how it is now from where it was 10 years ago. It's laughable.
How would you describe, because I'm sure that of the 16 people that are listening, there are 2 right now who aren't familiar with you or your YouTube channel. So how do you describe what you do today? To like Mike, meet my mom. Hi, Mike. What the fuck do you do? How do you coalesce what you do to somebody who doesn't understand it?
I scratch videos and there's music too.
All right, that's fair.
That's like the simplest.
So you added you went from doing a purely audible form to adding visuals to the mix. Right now we have your Key and Peele remix up, which we're seeing here, which is great. I love this that you just went and did this. And
clearly,
the fact that you are such an expert scratcher, is that the term? Is that a mixed martial artist? What are you, a mixologist? I don't know what it is.
Scratcher, turntablist.
Okay, yeah. Because you are such an expert turntablist, it's clear in your videos that you're able to do things at a level that guys who just press the auto buttons, who just use the software, that they can't do. So, not to make you defend the people who say like, well, the people that would go, you're being a sore loser. People like me that would say that to certain DJs. Like to some degree, like people kind of need to get over that, right? And accept that that's happening.
Yeah, because I know a lot of those guys too, obviously, and
it was so hard for me to even word that because in my head I'm like seeing friends of mine that have this opinion and they're like, but these fucking guys are blah blah blah. I'm like, look, at some point the artistry has moved on, the level of craftsmanship has moved on, or is doing different things. So while you can love what you do, you shouldn't shit on what the other guys are doing.
I think that's what it is. It's just I don't think they're taking anything away. I don't think that any of the guys back then could have taken it to the level that it is now, playing for, the crowds that the raves and stuff.
Right.
It's a totally different. It's not even. They're not even looking for that. It's not the same audience at all.
Right.
So what's the big deal?
So when did you make the leap? Did you see the writing on the wall for this scratch battle type scene, or did you just see this as something new and interesting and went towards?
It was
that?
just really interesting, and I got really bored of that.
Really?
Because it's just like I just kind of I didn't see it as a sinking ship, But later on, it kind of turned out that it was just like, whoa, the relevance is.
You didn't see the iceberg. You just got tired of the fucking cruise. You were like, I want off this boat. Get me to someplace else.
A plane or something.
Right.
And it wasn't that I love the art. It's still, I don't hate anything about it. It's not like, moving on and screw you guys.
Right.
But,
forget you, storied past. Forget you, history. And,
because it's still a part of what I do. And I think that there's no, like, for the stuff I do on, like, YouTube, all the remixes and stuff, there's no, like, you can't just hit play for that. I mean, you literally do play it. But me, I can't just make it like that. I have to, like, chop things up and scratch things and stuff like that. So there still is that element of artistry in it.
And do people understand it nowadays? I mean, I'm sure a younger set certainly does because they're seeing it or they're understanding video editing and how it's being made. But do you find yourself having to explain what you do to a lot of people?
Yeah, even at hip hop shows, I had to explain what it was because they would be like, so, okay, how is it that you can sync up with the other guy who's doing the video? I'm like, well, I don't have to because I'm doing the video. And so it's just like, wow, so that whole show, you were just not understanding it.
Right.
That broke my heart.
So
that's really sad. That's like if you're doing like a stand-up comedy show, it's like, so who was feeding you the jokes in your ear?
Right. Yeah, you did great setups, but where'd those punchlines come from?
Yeah, how did you get that? Who told you those? And it's like, wow.
So when did you get so bored that you started adding visuals to the mix and experimenting with that?
Probably 2005. Yeah.
Has the software been the same ever since, or have you
No, it actually started out. I went to Japan and I went to the Pioneer headquarters because they were making the CD turntables.
Right.
And I was like, I just can't do everything that I need to do on these things. They're great, but
they're great for beat matching and for mixing house music and whatever.
Exactly.
But if you're scratching, there's no feedback, right? It's not moving. There's not belt-driven anything.
There's the feedback, and there's also just the how just slow you can get the sound to move. You can't do that on a CDJ.
On something that's digital.
Yeah. It's a lot tougher. But so they asked me. So we kind of talked for a while, and at the end it was just like, so what are you interested in? I was like, well, can you show me where to get some movies? I heard there's some bootlegs out here, in Japan. So they're like, what? You like movies? I'm like, of course. Who doesn't like movies? Like, well, let's show you something else. And so they had this. It's really just this empty room with a kind of a large CDJ with a TV in front of it, and there was like a Beyonce video on the TV, and they're like, just scratch that. I was like, all right. And it's freaking, I'm scratching the video. It was like science fiction.
Right.
It really felt weird because you always think like
you tried to put your hand in that VCR at a very young age.
Yeah,
and
it just doesn't work.
That only tear up your fingertips. But here you were touching Beyonce.
Yeah, I was touching Beyonce. I think I was probably one of the first people to do that.
The first of many. Sorry, Jay-Z. Much love. Peace.
Oh.
So you were out there 2005. You're in a room. They show you this thing. You're scratching video. And that was your first time doing it.
Was it like a laser disc type?
It was a DVD.
DVD?
Yeah. So, I mean, it had the same response and it worked like a CDJ. But I could forgive that, and I just took it home and built like a set. I was all of a sudden, I could use this.
Yeah, okay. This one makes sense to me now.
Yeah. So I was using that for a little while, and then Serato, which is the DJ software that everyone uses, they created a video plugin. So now I can have
your traditional vinyl turntable with like what, a time code record that
it's time code. Yeah, I think it's technically not time code, but it is some sort of like signal that triggers the sounds and stuff in the computer, and it kind of knows what you're doing. And
so
within like a
for those who don't know,
second.
so now like in your software, you take a YouTube video. Like let's play the Key and Peele thing for a second. Let me see that. So you take like a YouTube video, you set cue points. So you tell the software, I want this point to be at here on the record or on this switch that I'm pressing.
He's like, you a bitch.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, let's just listen to a second of this. Why not? Here it is. This is Mike Realm's Bitch remix from Key and Peele.
Watch this, what? Yeah, watch the video, man.
Yeah, I said, bitch, 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 bitch. I said, bitch, bitch. I'm the man of the house. Bitch, 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 bitch. I said, bitch, bitch. I'm the man of the house. I said, bitch. I said, bitch. I said,
All right, so let's bring it down just a bit. So you're telling the software, all right, when he says bitch, that happens at this point on the record, or when I press the button.
When I press,
you're setting those cue points.
The pad, I have the controllers.
Right.
I'm just hitting the beep, 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 beep,
So so you talk about the evolution of things. Like you went from playing the slow jams at the quinceañera to getting into scratch on a national level to mixing video into your sets to now you're doing controllerism stuff, which is knob tweaking and hitting those buttons and setting up samples and playing them live.
Yeah, hitting the buttons. Because I also grew up kind of on an MPC, and that's the 16 pads that you're just like a drum machine.
Sure.
So that translated exactly the same as the turntables with video did. So I got pretty lucky.
It's frustrating to me when people see stuff like that and go, well, you clearly just hit a button and the software does it. And I don't it's not my livelihood. I think it's awesome, but it's like, it's a hobby at best for me. I mean, this is a passion for you. And it must be is it frustrating when people can't speak that language or understand, or do you get excited by the opportunity?
I've gotten
to teach
used to it because of the nature of DJing anyways. Like it's
You're
always
just playing other people's music, bro.
Yeah, it's always so marginalized.
Yeah. Well, because you can't play a real instrument, whatever.
Yeah. Or even to this day, it's like, so do you play any instruments? Like, well, I play the turntable. Well, any
so you play other people playing instruments. I got it. That's cool.
Dude. And I think they just have like bad examples. If everyone listened to like Mixmaster Mike, they would know, okay, that's what a turntablist does. That's the highest form in terms of like a craft of DJing.
Well, now, not to tangent, but to tangent entirely. Not entirely. Fuck that. When did you say, okay, this is something that I'm going to pursue professionally for the rest of my life? Was that a decision that you made consciously, or did it just happen naturally?
It wasn't like a switch all of a sudden. It was like,
you didn't have to sit the parents down and let them know, like, hey, I'm not going to be a neurochemist.
I think they knew, and they were like kind of, dragging me kind of, I think when I started making money,
okay, son, we're all right with that. And you can smoke your dope in the bedroom. Enjoy.
Where mine?
You said you have a brother?
Yeah.
Just one?
Just one.
Just one brother. Is he musically inclined? Or?
No, he is. He was a graph artist. Now he's I guess he's a product manager at MoviePass.
So at least your parents have one son to be proud of.
Exactly.
That's cool.
But he also went through like, graphic design and stuff, and just the whole web thing.
Right.
So.
Right. So the artistry is potentially somewhat genetic with you. It's happening at a cellular level.
We're the only ones in the the family.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Everyone else is like literally like doctors and engineers and stuff. And
so they're not entirely shaking their head, at least when you're there. But when you walk away, they're mourning it a little bit.
It's just like, oh man, but we got one.
I know that this has led to some incredible opportunities in your life, personally and professionally. You've been on Attack of the Show.
Yeah,
that
was huge.
Isn't one of those opportunities.
That was huge.
I was kidding. No. I want to get to the Blue Man Group because that was like, you've closed the Olympic Games. You've toured with the Blue Man Group. Tell me about some of the opportunities you've had in being a sort of VJ pioneer, if you will.
Well, the good thing is I think I was like one of the first. So I think that's where the Blue Man thing came, because they were getting their tour together, and they wanted to have an opening act that kind of like fit the kind of, I mean, they're a little different from, the average arena show.
Yeah, I mean, but they're still musical. They're still very percussive, and I think from the Blue Man Group shows that I've seen, they're very tech savvy. They try to have some sort of technological or digital integration or message into their show. So coming across someone like you, when you were really one of the first to do it on that level, that must have been a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it worked out perfect, and and it was weird because I had only done like hip hop shows and like rock shows, and I've done festivals, but not like to this audience. It was completely different. It was like kids and adults, and touring across the country in places that I probably wouldn't have gone with, Del the Funky Homo Sapien or Jurassic 5 or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did you have to give him
Peoria, Illinois.
Did you have to give him a blue job to get into the group?
Yeah.
Did that happen? I've heard stories about that where they shave you down and they put the latex blue paint on you. And
that was interesting.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey man, that's how it goes. I'll do it.
So you toured the world with them, and literally toured the world with them, right?
I did the U.S.
The U.S.
and
Okay.
Canada. Yeah.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
That's our hats.
Where I thought you toured the world doing VJing at some point, or
That was before them.
what?
Yeah.
Learn me, Micro.
Let's rewind to that.
You speak turntable better than I do.
That was touring with guys like Lyrics Born. It's from the Bay Area. The
Okay.
Quantum Crew, Black Alicious, and who else was a lot of hip hop. J5.
Skeezy Skis, was he in there? Pickle Trick? Did you ever have Pickle Trick?
Pickle Trick was probably on a couple shows.
Yo Yo Man.
Yeah, but we
Ever been
did
on there?
all the festivals and bunch of Europe, a lot of Europe.
Flute Scrubber. Did you ever get out with Flute Scrubs?
No,
No?
I always wanted to though.
Bangin' Haas?
Where are you coming up with these right now?
Nowhere. I'm just figuring if you're gonna make up names like Blacklicious, I'm gonna fucking get in there. You ever bang with the Brills Boys? Never got out down with them?
Yeah,
No? Hissy Trick? Brian, what you got?
Nah, I actually knew of the band that he was Blacklicious.
You did not. You've never heard Blacklicious?
Yeah, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Pull up some Blacklicious. Tell me about Blacklicious when you toured with a band called Blacklicious.
Black Alicious.
Is it Black-alicious or
Black Alicious?
Black-alicious? Okay, even better.
Yeah. They're a hip hop group out of the Bay. And
Two
that was
Latinos, right?
You would think. Two black guys.
Oh, the plot thickens. And so you were doing VJ stuff with them, or you were just scratching at this time with them?
Kind of both.
Okay.
It was like when I could do this was when it was like, well, we could set up a screen, cool. If not, I don't need to do it anyways. It was like kind of my transitional phase where I wasn't like locked into it.
Sure.
So that was cool.
And then take me to the Olympics.
The Olympics, I did the Winter Olympics a bunch of times, and then I did the closing ceremonies for what was it? It was the Pan Am Games. That's what it's called.
The Pan Am Games?
Yeah,
That's a thing?
it's in Rio.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like a summer Olympic-y kind of thing. I
All
think.
right. And
it's like track and field. And, all
and
that stuff, I think.
as a DJ who has to actually go on and do a performance, how loaded can you get?
In Brazil, pretty crazy.
What are they doing in Brazil? Not you specifically, Mike, but a DJ you might know. What are they doing when they're on stage? Because I've seen DJs send text messages in the middle of shows. I've seen guys do lines off of mixers.
Wow.
I've seen pretty much everything that makes me jealous that I did not become a DJ
Really?
at a performance. But I'm wondering, how fucked up have you ever
I've
been
actually
during a set?
I've never done coke.
Okay.
I've been in a room with.
I hear your brain cells. I hear the synapses sizzling as you're trying to figure out how fucked up you've been and how you can say it as well.
I've only smoked weed. That is the only thing that I've ever done.
So,
Yeah.
but in this,
it's a big waste.
Is it
I've
not?
been
Is it?
offered.
Is it crazy though? The assumption DJ culture is. I mean, there's a lot of substance abuse, or
Yeah, big
I
time.
shouldn't say abuse, enjoyment.
Well, look
Yeah.
at Dead Mouse. He's as sober as they come.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he's-
actually wanted to leave the room while we were smoking weed when we had him on a podcast.
Is that true?
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard he just chugs alcohol though. Like
He does
mad.
drink. He does
Oh,
drink.
well,
but
then-
he doesn't do anything else. But
I'm
you
so
think he would
straight
be
edge,
just,
but just whiskey straight to the veins.
right. But you think if you're a DJ, like like
Well,
a
that's why
Dead
I'm
Mouse, you'd
asking,
be
yeah.
like Molly, ecstasy, or whatever you want.
Right.
Just because you would understand your audience at least.
Just blink once. Blink once if you don't want to admit. I mean, let's be honest. Like a guy at a lot of these shows, dudes are fucked up, right? You know, guys are rolling and they're in mid-roll.
But
and
I was
they're
doing a lot of
poised.
hip hop shows,
Oh, that's true.
and there's not a lot of ecstasy there.
Sure.
It's just not an ecstasy sound.
no,
You
it's
know what I
Mad
mean?
Dog and Kevlar
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not the same thing at all.
pouring Steel Reserve on the crowd.
Yeah, and also when I would go to like raves and festivals, I just see how people are on ecstasy. I just don't want to be like that. That wasn't what I wanted to do.
You, sir, are becoming more and more of a role model the more I talk to you. And I'll be honest, I like you less. I thought we were going to have a good time. All right, so that's good that you've managed to dodge all that. Now, what about the road pussy? What about just slaying vagina left and right? Just not you, someone that you
Not
know.
me.
That DJs must have elaborate systems for when it comes to picking the girl out of the crowd or deciding which one gets to come up to the booth and tell you to play slow and easy or
the
Summertime remix.
The best example of that I saw was Exhibit. We did a show with him,
Mm-hmm.
and they shut the entire backstage down. He had his little
to be his fuck den.
yeah. Well, he had his boys with him too.
Well,
So,
I'm not judging.
I mean,
whatever he wants to do.
But they literally
Getting
had
it in
this,
is
they
getting
had
it
this
in.
little girl. I guess she seemed like the kind of
Careful.
a managerial type.
Okay.
Who would go out and pick. She knew their type,
Right.
And so she kind of go and like, because I guess it's the same strategy as when you go to a bar with your friends. You want the girl to approach the other girl because it's less intimidating. So
Right.
she would get these girls looking the most.
You guys want to
stanky
come on
and-
back? Yeah, we got a week-old
And they
ham
just,
sandwich
like-
and a whole bunch of black pipe back there.
Yeah, and me and my friends are like, "Whoa, we're gonna see some like this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be legendary."
Yeah.
And then they kick everybody out. They all.
Oh,
lost.
you got
Yeah.
booted out too?
Yeah.
Were they setting up like kitten litter boxes and like weird bird cages and shit?
I don't know. I'd like.
I
to
wonder
think
how
so.
Exhibit rolls.
I'd like to think so.
He'd be weird. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And this was in where was this? Sweden. So it was yeah. Who knows?
you were doing a show with Exhibit in Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
and you did not fuck with him backstage.
No,
Mike Realm.
I know.
Mike Realm.
I know.
God. Let's talk about the missed opportunities now. Let's talk about that. So you're obviously now very well known for doing YouTube remixes. You do some for major motion pictures. You do them obviously for comedy guys. You do them for television shows. How do you decide what your next project is? And is it Warner Brothers banging down your door saying we need a remix for this movie, or do you approach them and say, hey, I want to do something for like an Iron Man, or how does
It's
your
a
world
little
work?
of both. Like I only do stuff that I kind of really feel like I can bring something to, or sort of just kind of do something cool with. You know what I mean? Because if it's something that that I honestly feel I can't manipulate enough to feel like better than or different enough from what's already out. Because a lot of times now everyone has dubstep on their trailers, so
Right.
it's like okay, and everyone's
I was going to do the dubstep Hobbit remix, but they beat me to it.
with the official thing, and everyone's chopping things,
Right.
And, so it's like, okay, mine has to feel extra special, so maybe I'll go a different route if they already have that. But or with the Key and Peele thing, I like the show, so
Even like this Old Spice thing. I remember we played this on Attack of the Show. Is this something you just said, wow, these commercials are great, I'm going to remix them, get on that bandwagon, or does Old Spice come to you? Or
no, that was just me hopping on the bandwagon because I saw everyone else getting a response. Did you get a response too?
Oh, yeah. When they
Yeah.
were doing the social media day and they were like tweeting out
Yeah,
to people
yeah.
to get them interested in the commercials and stuff.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant because it got my attention. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm tweeting them. That wasn't working, so I decided to do that.
And it worked?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you got the tweet back?
Yeah.
That's so crazy and plus the speed at which you're able to churn those things out. Like, what's the process for you?
Usually I'll make the beat first, and then I'll have just kind of a loose idea of where that's going to go, and then I'll throw stuff on top, kind of make something out of it. And sometimes it's crappy. I'll wake up the next day and hate myself, and then back to the drawing board. But like the Old Spice thing I just thought it was so easy. You know what I mean? Because
Why? No, why? I don't know. Why was it so easy for you?
Because he's just standing there and he's saying things with no cuts on. Nothing was cut. It was just like one take.
Okay.
And he's making sounds and
So this is what you look for when it comes time to remix a video. You have
Yeah.
to look at this soundbite is great, but there's a sound of an explosion behind it, or there's a motorcycle screeching out, or there's
Yeah.
epic violins playing behind it. So that's the kind of
Yeah.
stuff you look and listen for when you're
yeah,
going into a
and
remix.
it's similar to the way as a DJ producer, I would listen to music. Like, oh, I can take that snare because it's just by its lonesome self,
Right.
And but you can't.
That
it's
poor
hard to
little
listen.
snare. You sound like a
Yeah.
predator. I see that little snare in the corner, sitting by itself, sounding so sharp and crisp, just waiting to be plucked.
And that is how
remix
it is
snare.
now. I get so excited. Like, whoa, that's a nice snare right there.
You should
Take
remix
that.
podcasts then.
Have you you must have done a podcast remix or two in your day?
No.
All right. Well, how do we give you, to remix this little section, how do we give you the best samples possible? Like, what would you need from me and from Brian to make this? You need a snare, right? Did that count?
There we go.
Was that on its lonesome? Do you want to rape that snare?
How about a kick? I want that.
You need a
snare
kick?
really bad.
We need a kick. Give me that's the kick drum? The kick drum is a drunk donkey? A drunk cartoon donkey.
7,
3, 2, 1.
7. Olive Garden.
Get funkin' now! Ha! I get louder! To the non-remix version of this is the fucking worst thing in the world. But when you go, "Boo, whoop, meow, boop, 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 doop." What else do you need? You tell me.
Another cat sound.
Meow.
This is awesome.
This is great. Now, is this Sonic Gold to you? Can you do
It's
something with
platinum.
this? Is that a
This is
solid
platinum. I
kick?
can make a song out of that.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Wow, is
I
that
can do that.
You're
How about a bass line?
Ooh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Was that not deep? I don't know how people do that shit with their throats.
I'll sweeten it. I
don't know. I feel like
That's weird.
I had the cigarette voice box to my throat just then.
Oh yeah, don't do that. That's
Can you work with that? You can auto tune that shit. I've seen people
Do it again.
perfect.
right.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
nice.
little overmodulation at the top of it. You caught that too, didn't you? You fucking engineer, you. Good. You don't know when the shit's live and when it's not, but you know when it's overmodulated. So you'll go back then at some point, and you don't have to, but you would then go back, take all that and go, okay, here's a good sound, chop it up, and assign that to this pad, and assign this to that pad, then put some music to it, and you're...
Yeah, kind of tap it out first, kind of loose, and then record.
You make it sound as easy as the people who are angry at how easy it sounds. You know what I mean? Like, all they do is go into their fucking beat computers and they press their music machine buttons and out comes a hit single.
Well, I think most people are complaining. Like, we had Mixmaster Mike on a podcast recently, and we were talking about some of the similar things. But he was more, I think, more talking about like what's his name, Testero or whatever.
I heard that.
Yeah, where it's just like he sits at home and puts it all together, and then just goes and press play. You know, and then he's just pumping his fist the whole time,
Right.
and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's dancing with everybody.
Yeah, you're actually doing stuff though
Yeah.
in your live shows.
I
so-
feel guilty if I'm not doing something.
Right.
Because I look at like bands and it's like, well, if the drummer was just sitting there, people would be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Or the guitar, anybody. You can't just stand there. You can't just stand there.
I have actually always wanted to do what you've been doing. I was in a show a couple months ago in San Diego, and the DJ there, is like, I do video DJing also. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He explained what he did, and I was like, wow, that's something it seems interesting to me. I would just do like my favorite movies, like Akira, or something like that.
Dude, yeah.
That would be a great one. In my head, at least, I think it would be. Is it easy to pick up, or is it something that you would have to have a DJ background, or?
No, I think I find that like when I talk to people, the DJs have similar ideas for what they would do with it, which is take music videos and play them back to back. Then you have videos playing. But non DJs kind of have more interesting ideas, like the Akira thing. Like no DJ would ever say that. They would just say like, where can I get the next Beyonce video? It's kind of like it's a different frame of mind, which I think is kind of awesome.
Well, what is and I'm sure you get this all the time, but let's have it out. Like, what is step one for someone like Brian or someone that's listening that goes, listen, I like video editing, I like music, I want to mash these passions together. I'm assuming that Serato might not be the best place to start. They might want to get a controller, right? Because they're not going to have your turntable skills day one.
Right. I don't know what the other things are, to be honest, because for me, that's all I know.
Should they get something like a MIDI fighter, like something that Ian Golden would sell,
MIDI
like a
fighter
DJ
would be
Tech
good,
Tools?
yeah, but
for
you
those who don't know,
can't-
they're buttons that you can assign anything to in music software. So you can take your sample from Akira, assign it to that button, hit the button. But I mean, they can't really make a song with a MIDI
No,
fighter.
because then you can't like match the beats or anything. But if you just play a beat, and then you can fire off the samples like you're playing like a keyboard.
Right. Maybe, yeah.
Can you pull up? I emailed you a video. It's one of Mike's performances that he wants the internet to forget, and I unearthed it. I hate to spring this on you, buddy, but I'm going to. This was an international performance, and it was Mike doing what he says he despises the most, which is just rocking out with the crowd. But it really is. Oh, that's not it. That's an ad.
Oh.
That is an internet.
Like Rome?
Nope, that's not it either.
Oh,
It's not it.
that's the second one you sent me.
No. Oh, it's in a new email. New email.
Okay, sorry.
See, unlike Mike back in the day when he would pre-produce his sets, we pre-produce nothing here.
On the fly.
We just let this shit ride. That'll be edited out of the iTunes one, right? No. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Realm playing on the I don't know. The international Bangladesh sensation Pink. This is why DJs have such a terrible name. And this is why musical performances on
Nothing's
television.
plugged in. Nothing's plugged in.
Oh my god.
I hate that.
This guy wearing the jacket.
Oh my God.
Wearing the jacket that Mike wishes he had in high school, by the way, is standing at two Pioneer decks with a mixer in between. He's flicking the knobs. There is not a single fucking cable plugged in, not even a power cable.
Whoa.
And the camera does these nice, you'll see dramatic sweeps by the gear.
Oh my God. They're just calling him out. I get the director's like, let's get this guy.
Wow.
He's like, oh my.
He's into it. He's into it. Yeah.
It's not even on.
No, it's literally not even on. For those who don't watch the video, you're sorely missing out on some of the best parts of this podcast. Because this guy is,
Jesus.
if you take Vinny from the Jersey Shore. You give him Down syndrome and a motorcycle jacket, and you unplug all of his gear, and you have this DJ.
Oh my god.
DJ Trainwreck. Trainwreck in the mix.
He looks like the bad guy from the Russian Grand Theft Auto.
Nico, come do a mix for me, Nico.
Wow.
I unplug your CD changer, yes? You do the sweet set for audience, yes? You make noise with turntablists.
Oh my god. Kill me.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's
that video made
crazy.
me laugh. I wanted to play it.
115,000 hits.
Wow.
Has there been a train wreck of a show for you where it's just, oh my God, it just disintegrated right in front of you?
Oh, there's been tons.
Yeah?
I've played at places where I probably shouldn't have, where I think the
Like
whoever
as in
was
the-
booking
the-
it.
The crowd was not in favor
It was
of
not
what you
that
were
kind
doing.
of crowd. You know, it's just one of those.
I remember you at a Comic-Con party once, and you were saying that, and I was texting you during your set, and you
Oh, that was another one.
yeah, and you were just like, fucking murder me now. This is not where I'm supposed to be. Jesus Christ. Hold on. And then I watched it, and then I saw you like go and change up the song and then go back and like, fucking murder me now. It was amazing.
What was so wrong?
It was just the wrong crowd, and just it wasn't like I like to do my thing. It's something that needs to be kind of presented in a certain way. You need to see my hands.
Mm-hmm.
You need to. The room has to be kind of facing. You know, it was a club,
Right.
But I've been booked for a bunch of those, and it's just like, especially early on, when I didn't have any club music, I was just doing my set. I had like a locked 45 to an hour. And I go in and it's like ladies' night, and
right.
it was just like a nightmare because all these like
Kung fu movies and video games mashing up with songs.
they
and
don't like you.
Yeah.
You should keep baby in the corner, like sitting on the side, just ready to go. Like the Dirty Dancing.
The DD
version.
mix.
Yeah.
Dirty dubstep mix?
Well, I had that after that. I remember that night. I was like, wow, I need to just get something together for this because it's not cool.
Do you still do those gigs now?
Not those now.
Yeah.
No, we're a little bit more picky now.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And when you say we, you mean you and your management?
My manager,
or like,
yeah.
Okay. Because it's still just you throwing all this together, right?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I want to shout out something that I want to hear an actual train wreck story as well, but I totally forgot to plug the shit out of something that we worked on together ages ago. Entertheplaylist.com. Entertheplaylist.com. This was a partially Pioneer sponsored web series / TV pilot / party kind of thing that we threw together.
/ I looked way more epic in that than I ever have in my life.
Oh, it was fun,
So
man. Thank you for doing it too, by the way. But if you haven't checked it out, go to entertheplaylist.com. And the idea was, the idea for the show was one thing, which I won't get into, but the idea for your episode was VJing. And you did a great primer. If anybody wants to know what a VJ is, there's a video on the site. It's literally titled, What is a VJ? You click it, and Mike Realm gives you the history of a VJ, walks you through how you do what you do, the different software, the evolution of it. And thank you for doing it. It was a great piece. And then you judged a VJ battle at the end of the show, Eclectic Method versus Screenworks. We teach you who they are, we show you what they do, then we throw them inside of an octagon, an actual cage, and have them do a 3-round battle against each other.
So good.
A VJ battle. And you were a judge on that. And it was interesting to hear what you were saying about the clips, like, well, these guys are more pre-produced, but these guys go with the flow in the moment. I wonder how that's going to play out. And it really gave me a new respect for the art form.
Yeah, you really gotta like watch and that's great because you get to see different styles. Because if everyone just saw one guy doing it, it's like, well, that's that, and that I don't like it. Or,
Right.
You know, people have different tastes. So,
Sure. It's like watching a blues guitarist and going, well, okay, that's that. But you didn't know that heavy metal shredding exists or that jazz exists or anything else.
Yeah, you're missing out.
Yeah.
But there's only like 5 VJ crews out there, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
to
who's doing it? Who's doing it? You aside, present company aside, who's
Mm-hmm.
doing it the best? Who should we check out?
I think Eclectic Method does good stuff. Screenworks, they don't do as many as they use, or maybe I'm wrong. But I haven't seen
every like 3 months I see a tweet from them about a new remix video or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know if that's because they're out gigging so much or
They probably are.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of us. They got to kind of coordinate. But they do a lot of like full length. JE has a really dope full length DVD called it's TV.
they can Google it. Tell them what to
Yeah.
Google. Tell them what to bang.
JE Screenworks.
There you go. Ask Jeeves that shit. He'll find it for you.
It's really good. Go to Excite. You'll
Okay.
find it.
And then go to Excite. Fire up the dog pile on the internet Wayback Machine. So train wreck, a moment where you're on stage, the buttons aren't mashing, the record isn't scratching, the crowd turns against you. Your Salinas moment, where the stage collapses and you have to come out and sing Como la flor to calm them down, or there might be a Latino riot.
I don't know if I've had such
thank you.
such a bad moment like that.
Okay.
But I have had technical. I mean, I've had shows where my records are literally flying like a rainbow into the crowd. Like it just arcs. Like
What? How does that happen?
it's just windy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just wind.
Your set is literally blowing away,
Yeah.
just flying off into the
Out.
crowd? And what do you do at that point? Go, fuck it, and have to improv? Or?
I said, "Can I get those records back?" And I got them all back.
That's the shittiest DJ announcement ever. Instead of like, guys, quiet down. We have a birthday in the building. It's like literally, can I get that? One of you has my
Agreement.
my
Yep.
cool Cut Master Keith remix edition. Can someone hand me that back, please? Thank you.
That's the next song.
Please don't ruin any of the stickers on that. I need those stickers. Thank you, guys. And continue dancing, ravers. Rave your faces off.
But I'm not like the y'all remix. You know, I'm not that guy. So
have you
I'm
ever been
very
that guy? Come on,
very
you gotta be that guy.
I'm very conversational with the crowd. So if they ever did turn against me, it's over.
Hey
It's
guys,
completely
come
over.
on. Are we not enjoying the fresh beats that I am laying out for you tonight?
I'm so versus like some of the other guys. It's just like, wow, how do you guys do that? You're
Have
like
you seen?
rappers.
I know that you're fairly straight edge in comparison to most DJs, then, but you must have seen some shit go down at shows or backstage or people in the crowd.
Crowds get kind of crazy. I think the craziest thing I've seen was not even in a show setting. It was at a hotel where it was one of those older ones. So they had like physical keys. So walk into my room and like dudes are in there already.
In your room?
And things are happening.
In your room?
Well, it's not my room.
Oh, okay.
It was their room.
Okay, yeah. So
Oh, yeah. No. It was we were checking in.
Okay.
So everyone gets their keys. I got mine. And I was like, all right, night guys, I'm tired. I go in and there's freaking dudes just like doing what dudes do.
Butt sex?
Yeah, I don't know. What are you talking? Yeah, were they tossing it in the back? Were they fucking larger holes in their vinyl? What is it? Were they just was it a giant orgy going on?
They definitely weren't DJing.
They
It was
weren't?
just two guys. But you know,
Just
it was
two
like,
guys?
whoa. But it wasn't.
We're like, hold on, let me sample the sound of your balls hitting his forehead because that sounds
is
like
great.
that sounds like a virgin snare drum.
It's awesome.
It's
snare.
by itself.
I just gotta isolate that.
So it was like Pulp Fiction, bring out the gimp.
Yeah.
Felt
Pretty much
like
what it
that.
was, the
It
gimp
kind of
mix.
flashed. I was just like, I'm so sorry, and they didn't even look at me.
We thought maybe you want to join in.
Yeah, come on, Mike Realm. We can get on in here. I mean, we're a big fan of yours. Why can't you be a big fan of ours?
Are you shaved?
Wait, so do you listen to music and listen to the world in a different way with this background? Do you
Yeah, sort of. And I've kind of transferred that to movies and TV shows too. So when I watch something, it's like, oh, wow, I could do that, or that would work. And you know, I've done it enough times where I kind of know what it's gonna be.
Sure.
Just because that's how like I kind of train myself listening to music, like not so passively.
Are you worried, or do you foresee that getting boring, like maybe Scratching did at the time when you're winning national tournaments and it's like, well, I'm kind of done it and I can do it, but I need something new? Do you feel like VJing is getting to that point, or is it still exciting?
No, it's still exciting because it's a live thing.
Sure.
But YouTube has definitely given me just like, thank God for that, because I think if I was just doing live shows, that'd be boring. But I can do all these other things that are just different enough. You know what I mean? I kind of experiment and I can, you know, kind of work things out and
Sure.
be creative on a different level.
And
not
what's
crowd.
the is there an end goal in sight then? Like, is there even a 2013 goal for you, or is it, hey, I'm loving this, I'm making a living off this, just keep going?
Yeah, I mean, definitely more original stuff, because right now is I'm doing a lot of remixes, which is obviously taking pre-existing content
Sure.
and mixing it up the way I do. But like, you know, I think just kind of when I do get the assets, as they call it, you know, they're not always cut just right for me. You know, they're cut for, you know, these are the assets for the trailer houses, and they have different needs, and I have different needs. You know, it's like, wow, I could have used like 3 more frames.
Right.
Now
You
this
cut
just looks
away
weird.
from the bad guy, or you cut away from this explosion, and now I need that sound.
Exactly. Or that visual, because, you know, if you're chopping it
Sure.
too quick. It's just I don't get to draw out that.
So
explosion.
when movie studios come to you now, are you able to make demands like that, or is that not?
I can make requests. I don't demand it. I'm just
You
a
can't
nice
put your
guy.
foot down. No,
Yeah.
no, I get it. But are they getting what you do more and more now, and understanding that they need that?
They get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was this track that you did that was an original. I think it was at the end of a short that you did, a short film. It was in the credits. I begged you to upload it to SoundCloud, and you
Yeah.
did. And now the name is escaping me. Do you remember? Beast.
Yeah.
Can you internet track that down? You are such an internet watchdog. You're okay. All right. Are we live, Brian? We're live? Great. Let me tell you some NDA shit, Mike.
Damn it.
This was an original track that it was a quick little thing that you did, and I just fucking loved it.
Is this it?
Yeah, this is it here. Well, this is the whole
This is the whole thing.
this is the whole thing. So tell me about this side of you, Mike Realm.
This is the director side of me,
Olive Garden.
and this is well, we reference Olive Garden in this.
you did?
Oddly enough, yeah.
Simulation theory.
For those who don't know, a friend of ours, good old Bo Ryan, playing Lucifer in this one. You might know him from Machinima and from, well, he's Bo Ryan. You know him. So here he is.
Bad man.
And what is the gist of this?
The gist of this is Bo is Lucifer and Al Bravo is God, and they are kind of squaring off in a Godfather-ish scene because I always wanted to know what they would talk like in modern times, or modern-ish times.
Sure.
So we kind of built this conversation. This is like right before Revelation. You know what I mean? Right before it really goes down.
Right.
So and they're mafia guys.
I dig it. I love it. I love that. And this is pure passion here. That's what I love about this. This is like
we just did that.
But I encourage everybody to go plug in Beast and Realm, or you can search for Bo Ryan and Realm. I'm sure it's on the Rad Nerd side as well. But it's a great short. But this end track,
You like?
it just got me. It just got me.
I'm gonna burn you!
Spoilers! Spoilers!
I beg you, Father, please have mercy.
Spoiling everything.
Gabriel.
Guys, don't listen to this part. Don't listen to this.
They were dead.
Where's the track? It's a great track, and it's on SoundCloud as well, right? People can go and grab it. Yeah. Oh. That's something a UFC fighter with wolves and skeletons and chain link around his neck. He needs to come out
That's
to the
exactly
ring
what
and
I was
listen to that
going for.
shit. Is that really what you're going for?
Something epic.
I mean, this is some ring entrance shit.
Trying to go epic with it.
I play this right before I dive into cunnilingus. Like, this is my foreplay
Does it
jam.
help?
Oh, dude, I play it. I get a full 3.5 inches, rock hard, and then I just bury my face angrily.
Nice.
Angrily. I don't care if she's enjoying it. I don't care if he's enjoying it. I'm getting down. If you're coming to my hotel room, Mike Realm, there's a tie on the knob. You stay out. I love that track. Is that?
Thank you.
And that's pure original. That's just you.
Yeah, that was just me. I just thought I needed something epic to put at the end of that short.
So-
I'm glad you like it. I respect your opinion.
When's the?
musically.
Oh, you absolutely shouldn't. But thank you. What are you listening to these days? That'd be a good note to wrap this bad boy up on, because you are a musician extraordinaire. What tickles your fancy?
I like the new Flying Lotus.
Ah, okay.
That kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I
Sometimes
listen
Flying
to-
Lotus gets a little too, like, my Sony Walkman is glitching out on me.
I like
Sometimes
that,
it's a
though.
little too glitchy. I like it sometimes. I like it in moderation, but sometimes I'm literally like searching for the, like, give me the beat, give me that something again, because it gets a little too. But okay, new Flying Lotus.
I just like that you gotta kind of, you can't just kind of, you gotta earn it. You know what I mean? You gotta.
I'll give you that. Yeah. Yeah, the hook isn't coming easy. The chord changes
No.
aren't something Clear Channel approved.
Yeah, you got to pay attention, and
Yeah.
that kind of draws you in, so you end up hearing more. Because if you listen to things passively, it's just like, oh, whatever. I think that hook said ballin' or something. It's like, what?
So you're not loving 2 Chainz right now? Is that what you're saying?
I don't play any 2 Chainz. I do like trap music, though.
Yeah,
That's kinda cool,
You
yeah.
actually linked out one the other day, a trap remix of something, and I don't. You have to describe trap to me in a way that doesn't make me think it's a gimmick. But you
Okay.
linked out a song that was it was bounce.
Yeah.
Can you search for bounce trap remix? That one got me.
Nick No, it's Nickngo made it.
It was a great. And so, how do you trap is coming out of where? Isn't it coming out of the South?
It's southern, but they have. I mean, that's the real trap. But then there's the trap that the sort of dubsteppy guys have sort of.
Which is putting their thick bass
Yeah.
sweeps behind trap music.
Yeah.
But what is trap music to begin with? Then is it just?
I think it's like TI music, like southern. It's got a bounce, But I think what people
What are
associate
the
with
but the characteristics? I thought to me from the 3 trap songs that someone tried to show me, I was like, it seems like it needs to be almost empty. There's a lot of
space,
which is
compared
like,
to
instead of your water sprinkler rap where it's like sounds like a water sprinkler going back and forth.
Yeah,
it's a little more empty than that, a little more devoid of.
It's so hard to describe,
right? Which is why I don't know
like,
that it's real. I don't know that it's. I think people are just making up genres.
I think it is an isolated section of Southern rap.
Okay,
that's my theory.
But
Because it doesn't sound. It's not like new,
right?
But it's bigger now than it was.
So is it, I struggle with like what is it that defines it? To me, it was the emptiness. From what I'd heard, it was that space. That track is great, by the way. You can, yeah, you can let that shit go. I mean, I will mob to that. We will. Let's break out some breadsticks. Let's go to the bottom of this bread basket. Where is it? Where's that drop?
Hey,
yeah,
like that kind of.
But this is a dubsteppy trap mix, then, is it?
Yeah,
not?
this is like
this one actually.
trap
Because I literally
that,
said,
like-
"Where's that drop?" But trap doesn't traditionally have a drop, does it? Oh, listen
This
to that.
one does.
Get it going, get it. Oh. That's some dirty.
Yeah.
That's some dirty-ish. Oh,
Those 808s. It's
that's good.
Describe it, yeah.
That's good. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of whatever that is. But that's not real trap, is it?
That's like the
so
trap
confused.
cousin of dubstep, I think, because it has electronic stuff, but it's not like so like filled up and overpowering and
Right.
It's like there's space. I like space.
You're like a Spotify with glasses, Mike. I love you. You're so knowledgeable. So good. What's the deal with the tie? Which you're not rocking today, but what's the deal with the look?
No,
It works. It works so well, too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted, when I was first started touring, I didn't want to have to worry about like switching outfits because I was worried that
Right.
like,
And you need it-
someone in Columbus would, upload pictures and I'd be wearing the same thing in New York. And it's like, wow, that was like 2 weeks apart.
Smart.
You know.
It's efficient too. And it's like as far as a look goes, it feels like a look and not a gimmick. It's not like there's DJ Chainmail and he's just hanging out in his full chainmail garb and remixing with his sword. Like you don't need that DJ fanny pack. You're not up there rocking just fanny strap around the waist, around the neck. Like you're a dude in a suit and a tie, and it fucking works. And you know it immediately when you see it.
Yeah, I figure it's timeless. I don't think suits are going to change that much anytime soon. I mean, I used to wear like this cheap like Burlington Coat Factory. Like, I don't
Hey,
even
they are
know.
more than great coats. You watch it. Who else is doing it right?
Z-Trip.
Who you listen to?
Z-Trip's doing it right,
Z-Trip.
yeah.
That Breakfast song is still one of my favorites. Off
Yeah.
of his. I think Z-Trip, and this is going to draw the ire of 3 of those 16 listeners. Z-Trip's remixes are far better than his original stuff. Tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. I want to be wrong on this one because there was a handful of tracks on that first album that he released where I was like, okay, like the Breakfast song I thought was dope.
Have you heard The Walking Dead?
Yeah. Oh, that. You know what? Okay.
on, man.
Touche.
Come on.
I'm gonna. You know what? Touche.
Yeah.
Fucking Spotify. Recognize that, Mike.
Yes,
Walking
Z-Trip
Dead.
fans
Walking
right
Dead
now.
is amazing. That
really
is an
good.
amazing track.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that as well. Yes, but his remixes, which he couldn't get away with because he couldn't license half the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember seeing him at UCLA ages ago, and it was like Rage Against the Machine with Michael Jackson, or
Yeah.
it was like Dust in the Wind with.
That's one of my favorites of his.
and
remixes.
he couldn't put it on an album.
Yeah, but that was part of it because you had to like search for it,
Right.
You know, that's
Do
like.
you think the scarcity made it that much more precious?
No, but it made it. I think it makes you appreciate it more because you did find it. I mean, I think if he would have, if today, if that mix came out, like now and he put it everywhere, I'm not sure people would have
Right.
the same appreciation.
That's
for
true.
it.
That's
You know,
true.
because it was like
Rebecca
a
Black
very-
would cover it, and then it'd be on people's ringtones, and it
Exactly.
would
And you
just be.
just
Then
kinda
someone would
forget,
dubstep remix it, then someone would chop it up with an Iron Man trailer. Mike, it's fine.
I know. I'm such a hater.
So Z-Trip, who else?
Mixmaster Mike has always, to me, done it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he can. I mean, yeah.
What's he got today that I need to seek out?
He has like a lot of new mixtapes, I think.
Okay.
He just had a new free one that was just released a couple weeks ago on his website. You can download it for free.
Oh, nice. Okay, check that out.
Nice. Last one I heard was Napalm Breaks, but
And what about Yeezy?
Napalm Rockets.
You a Yeezy? You down with the Yeezy?
What's the Yeezy?
Con Yeezy, son.
Oh.
You haven't been watching The Throne?
I thought we were talking about DJs. I was like,
No, we're talking about anybody, but let's open it up.
Okay.
I mean, you can go with Jars of Clay if you really want to go. You can say Nickelback's killing it. Wherever you want to go. I'm curious. If you hit shuffle on your iPod right now, I'm always interested in who a musician is listening to.
There is, what was I listening to today? Oh, the Waka Flocka. Hold on.
See what I'm talking about? These made up names again.
Well, here.
Did I show you who was the DJ at the party I went for New Year's Eve?
No.
I'll show you a picture. Let me find it.
Is this real or is this a setup?
No,
Am I going to see gaping goat anus?
No, this is
with a
100%.
pair of headphones around it.
That is 100% real.
You still haven't? Have you talked about that party anywhere else? Did you talk about it on Rogan's or on your own on another podcast?
The New Year's party? I think I brought it up. It was just at Russell Peters' house. I don't know if you know Russell Peter. He's a pretty big comic comedian, but he's also a really talented DJ. So his party, we walk in. And I was like, "Oh, who's DJing?" And it's John Favreau, and he brought his own.
I saw that.
Iron Man
I saw that
laptop.
picture on your Twitter, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! You're at the party of the century right now."
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
What was Favreau throwing down?
Yeah, just mixes of like more current songs and stuff like that. But yeah, he was really good at it.
Good on Johnny Fav.
Yeah,
good on him.
I like the fact that he brought his own laptop though. Like I'm just gonna bring. I'm
Sure.
an Iron Man guy, so
I love that.
That's so dope.
So that was a good DJ. And then how was that? Was that the same party that you were? No, that was an Axl Rose party. Have you talked about that one yet?
no, I'm not going to talk about that one.
You sure? Because I feel like we're owed that discussion. Being that for those who are listening to this and wondering why I keep making jokes about when we're live and when we're not, like
We should not keep on calling it back.
a good 6 minutes before the podcast began, I'm sitting down and we're having a very off the record discussion. It's candid.
Super
Neil deGrasse Tyson was here finishing up his Joe Rogan podcast, and they're leaving. I look at Mike across the table and we're chatting about something. I go, listen, this is NDA'd, but I'm gonna tell you about it because we're buddies.
I tell you the real fault of the whole thing. It's the Logitech Broadcaster, which is an awesome, great Wi-Fi HD camera device, but it has one button to automatically goes to Ustream.
Wow.
So it's
So
like
it's
it's in your
convenient.
pocket. You're just broadcasting everything to Ustream.
A poor craftsman blames his tools, Brian. So because you exposed some of our dirty little secrets to the world, I think you need to tell us a little bit about this Axl Rose party.
Well, so I went to a party, and it was his house, and I'm not going to say who it was, even though you just did. But
Oh, well, I didn't know it was his house. I thought he was just there.
no, that wasn't his house. It wasn't his house.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
But it was a celebrity's house, and they had like a part of their house, like the whole house is separated like out into a bar. So there was just like you walk in, it was like being at a strip club.
Fucking Google
there
money.
There was DJs that just worked at this party every weekend. There was bouncers, there was bartenders, and this is in your house.
In the house,
The
yeah.
rest of the house blocked off. You can't even get to it. But it was just fucking till 6 a.m. It was just
Literally,
like,
you guys were just fucking each other until 6
Till
a.m.
6
Like it
in the
was a
morning.
mask party, keys in a bowl. Let it go.
And I guess like like some of the biggest celebs in Hollywood just go there every weekend because they don't want to go to a real bar where they're getting hassled and photography
Right.
and stuff like
right.
that. So
TMZ hanging outside
Yes.
trying to catch my vagina as I get out of my car.
So I guess that's what a lot of the big things is a lot of these big celebrities just have their own bars now in their houses.
And I mean this with all the love in the world. How the fuck did you get invited to that, Brian?
friend of a friend of a friend.
Got it. So security ain't that tight. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, how fucked up did you get?
I was really fucked up. And the worst part is that there was no phone service because it was so high in the
hills,
mountains
yeah.
and stuff like that. And so there was a point where I'm like, all right, I just want to take a taxi home. I want to get the fuck out of here. Because I took a ride with somebody else who was also fucked up. And so I had to just wait it out. And I was just I was just like, get me the fuck out of here.
It's nothing worse than decompressing in unforeign territory when the
Right.
sun is coming up.
Right. And but one cool thing was it was really weird. It's like a guy came up to me, he was like, Red Band, what's up? And I'm like, oh my God, one of the guys here, one of the DJs knew who I was. So it was kind of weird that there was actually people there seeing, I don't know, like when people know who you are and they see you in
It doesn't
a
happen,
really
so.
intense, like fucked up condition.
I was once in line for a ride at Disneyland when the pot brownies kicked in, and and it was well, we were in line for Roger Rabbit's Twisted System in Toontown. When one of my buddies started having his bad trip, saying that, and it was because if you've ever been in line for Roger Rabbit in Toontown, they have these things where like the doors have knockers and they start knocking themselves, and there's flashes of shadows in the windows, and the doors will start breathing. And to a 6-year-old kid, it's a little scary. To a 43-year-old British guy who's on pot brownies, it's a nightmare. And so he bolted from the line screaming and went through one of the emergency exit doors, which makes the floodlights come on. we didn't see him for hours, and I'm like, this fucking douchebag can't control his fucking brain. Way to go. You know what? Whatever. Good on him. I hope he turns out okay. 45 minutes later, I'm in line for Indiana Jones, and I'm starting to kick into a point where I can barely control myself, and I think my face is melting again. Something bad is happening, and while I'm in line, it was as if in slow motion, this group of dudes turns and looks at me, and they point to me in slow motion, and I hear, "That's Kevin Pereira." And it was one of those lines that snakes by itself 12 times.
Like 4 times.
And so I looked at my friend. I was like, guys, I gotta go. They're like, why? I was like, I just got recognized. I'm like, chill out. No one recognized. I was like, I did. And then the whole group turns around and they're like, let me take a picture. And they start to move through the line to get back to me. And I will always stop for a photo or an autograph or whatever. Like I feel blessed that anybody cares at all about what I do. So I've always stopped. If I am on pot brownies, I am running. And I did.
Are you
I grabbed my
serious?
friend's
You
glasses.
ran?
I put on the glasses, but because I was so out of my mind, I didn't just leap over the fucking rail. I decided to snake back through the entire line as they were coming to try to get me.
Oh my God.
And so it became like a panic Family Guy cartoon of the Doppler effect by my friends was,
You had the person looking at you throughout the line.
yeah. Oh, I snaked by them 12 times to get out of the line. It's just, and ran and met up with my buddy who left the Roger Rabbit ride at the front of the thing. Yeah. Hey, that's my picture. Yeah. It was the
There he comes.
fucking worst experience ever. So I can only imagine how you felt in that moment trying to decompress.
Well, yeah, and especially when you're just around, like, in a strip club atmosphere on a certain kind of drug, and you're just, like, sitting, like, staring off, and you have somebody going, "Hey, how are you? What are you doing here? Ah."
You want to talk for a while about how much I like you?
Is that how, like the gay stuff usually happens on ecstasy and stuff? Because you just give up, and you're just like, all right, just stop talking to me, man.
If that's how it happens for you. I mean, I guess he's not
No.
going to expect me to say words if his dick's in my mouth. So, all right.
This'll
is
shut him up.
Yeah, this is a weaker fate. Is that one of those? I have a plume device coming soon. Is that by that same company? Is that like a little?
No, this is Joytech, I think.
Oh,
yeah, Joytech.
What do you have there?
It's a e-cigarette.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's a vaporizer basically.
Go on.
And you can
Is that the one you hit the button and it turns blue?
it turns white.
White, yeah.
Yeah.
You like
And
that
you
thing?
fill it up. I love it. I haven't smoked a cigarette in like 2 months.
Yeah?
So
But you're still,
working out.
but you're still poisoning yourself, right?
yeah, but
it's just
like,
less
it's
poison,
nicotine.
right?
It's not
just
like
a nicotine
guitar and all that stuff.
Okay.
And it's got different flavors.
Oh,
So
what are you
can, like,
smoking today,
I got,
good sir?
I combined cheesecake with strawberry to make a strawberry cheesecake.
Are you kidding?
You want to try it?
Yes, I want to.
Yeah, you just press it and hit it, and
I put a skirt on my cigarette. That's what that was. Like, cigarettes weren't manly enough, so I decided to get rid of the burning tobacco
really
and make
tasty.
strawberry cheesecake. And you like it? You're a fan?
Yeah. I love it.
God, that's so good.
Let me get
It's
that.
pleasant,
Can
right?
I get
Yeah,
a,
go
That's
for it.
so
I've
good.
I don't smoke cigarettes because nicotine never does anything for me. But maybe that's because I don't know.
they have varying.
How do you just take a
levels of
regular draw?
nicotine. And you gotta hit the. There's a button.
Oh, right here?
And hold it while you're hitting it.
Okay. Oh, that was delicious.
Yeah,
That was fucking delicious.
Can you imagine that on X?
I wasn't expecting that.
it's very pleasant.
I'm gonna take yeah.
Go for it.
Wow. It tastes like strawberry cheesecake mixed with a little bit of something else.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. And what is this nicotine gonna do for me, Mike Realm?
Oh, it's gonna make you feel so good, man. You're gonna see
I feel
trails.
so great. Oh my god, what?
I'll tell you what, my friend has the same thing, but she puts hash oil in it. But
wow.
it has the
Yeah.
flavors of hash oil, and she has mint chocolate right now.
Wow.
And you just taste it. It's just like eating a mint chocolate.
Kids, don't smoke cigarettes. It's a terrible habit. But if you're gonna smoke cigarettes, that's a fucking delicious
Yeah,
way to
yeah.
do it.
Go
Start
for it
off
with
with
this.
that.
Yeah,
If you
I
start
mean,
off with that, you'll never probably get to the real thing.
Yeah,
would
and
you?
your parents won't even know that you're smoking in your bedroom. The school won't even know that you got one in
Yeah.
your JanSport. Keep one in the locker. Keep one in the PE locker.
You could do
I mean,
it during class, probably.
You really can. Just blow it under the desk. You're fine.
blow it in your sleeve.
On the plane. This is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mike Realm. Dropping
I'm
knowledge on us.
pissed that this didn't come out earlier in my life.
Let us plug a show of yours that is coming up January 25th.
Yes,
Can we play that
25th
video?
in San Francisco? It's not
DJ
a video,
Red Band. Oh, it's
but
not a video.
it was a link to the
A hyperlink, a uniform resource locator,
whatever that is.
a URL. No, all right, it's fine.
I didn't know what that stood for.
Come on, man. Come on. Do you know how many times I've gotten laid by knowing what URL stands for? 0. January 25th. Where can people see you, Mike Realm?
At the Independent in San Francisco.
What the shit is this?
It's gonna be awesome.
What is this? Tell me all about this.
It's a live show. I haven't done a live show in San Francisco in a while, so
This is your roots?
Yeah, this is
your
gonna be good.
hometown? You getting back? Is this?
Make
Are
it
you going to do
special.
the VJ thing, or are you doing the traditional
it's all
VJ?
out. Yeah, it's everything. It's all my new stuff that I've been creating since my last show in San Francisco was like 2 years ago or
Awesome.
something like that. Yeah.
We still need to do something, and
gotta jam.
that's more my bad than yours. But we were working on
I don't
something for Lead Up, and it was actually pretty fucking cool.
Dude, from the 2 days that we had,
Not even 2 full
was
days.
so
from the 2 hours.
awesome, though.
We had an awesome video game remix jam going.
Oh, dude, I forgot
and I can
about
trigger
that.
visuals with my V drums. I got to read a manual. I
Yeah.
got to download an FAQ on that. But where can people go to find out info about you and this show?
MikeRealm.com.
It's MikeRelm.com. There they can get access to your YouTube channel, your Twitter sphere, your Insta Tumblrs, your blogger posters, your JDate Pinterest profiles. All that shit is there.
All of it.
They can get tickets to the show on January 25th. They can
Yes,
listen to
please.
your remixes. Do you have a SoundCloud? Sure
Yep,
you do.
SoundCloud/MikeRealm. Is that how they do it?
You got it all, Mike Realm.
Yeah,
And
it's all Mike Realm.
Brian, pluggies?
Next wech, AVN we'll have a comedy show.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, you got to come. It's the 17th. It's going to be at the Hard Rock where the AVNs are at. It's going to be at the Vinyl. It's going to be the Naughty Show. Me, Doug Benson, Sam Tripoli, a few others. And yeah, I'll be just in the AVN. And then after that, I believe it's the Thursday following that. I think it's the 24th. We'll be at the Improv. I'll be with Duncan Trussell, Stevie Brody Stevens, and a few other people. But everything's on DeathSquad.tv.
Love it. Hey, Mike Realm, thank you so much for coming out,
Oh,
buddy.
thank you for having
Always
me.
a pleasure to chat with you. And thank you for the attack of the show, to birthday parties, to whatever.
That
You've
was
always,
all you. You
to-
invited me on the
to
show.
lead up. No, but you were kind enough to bring your incredible talent, and you've always been such a nice fucking guy and so talented. It's inspirational. And I appreciate you always lending your time and your efforts. Hey, everybody, supercreative.tv. That is my website on the interwebs. I have one. Go to supercreative.tv. You can check out all sorts of shows. We have a new Machinima series coming out very soon. There will be promos within days. It's called Player versus Pain. We have 2 players playing video games against each other, and we torture the fuck out of them. I shouldn't have to say another goddamn word about this thing. Go to supercreative.tv to check that out. We'll have some t-shirts coming up, some stickers. Pointlessforums.com. I'm going to register that tonight, or I'm going to go on that tonight. Someone has it up and running, I guess, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, you have forums as well, which are great. We got to figure out how to unify that, because I always enjoy reading your forums over on Death Squad. Many thanks to Brian. Many thanks to Mike Realm. Supercreative.tv. Check that out. Make sure you search for the Best Friends Forever trailer, because, again, this might mean sex for me. So please watch it, like it, share it, retweet it, do whatever the fuck you got to do, and go to entertheplaylist.com. That's entertheplaylist.com to check out What is a VJ with Mike Realm, to watch Eclectic Method and Screenworks weigh in on who they are and what they do, and then to watch me host a VJ battle. That's going to be posted very soon. I hope you like all those things. I hope you like me, because I need it. My parents never did. Kisses, hugs, belly rubs. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye, motherfucker!
Down to the ground, but how low can you go? Lower than your mama's never seen it in a lifetime. Never would have imagined it, not even in her right mind. Practice in front of that mirror.